What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access. Today we're joined by Derek Minor. Thank you for coming through, sir.
Yes, sir.
Pleasure to have you, man. And you've been putting out a lot of material this year, and you're going to be putting out an album pretty soon.
Yeah.
So, the 1014 EP that came out. So with that, what's the significance of the title? Because there's an album coming out October 14th. Is that the little play there?
Yeah, so that's the strategy was, we dropping the album Reflection on October 14th. Mm-hmm. And really the album was done first before the EP.
Okay.
And I was sitting at home and waiting on mixes to come back and just, the little small stuff that goes into the album. And I was like, man, I'm finna make an EP. So 2 weeks, I produced the whole thing, except for I co-produced the last song and, just knocked it out. And then I was like, yo, this would be a great launch for the album. So it's really kind of like an appetizer. Like I wanted to, because the album's so diverse, I wanted to take the music from 1014 and kind of it be like an introduction to what you're gonna hear. Okay. So if you notice, like on a lot of the records, it switches from like a piano ballad to a trap record, or just different things. Drowning, I'm only singing on Drowning, so just really kind of like messing around and experimenting and bending genres.
Well, I think let's talk about Drowning and then the bigger evolution, because with Drowning, that I think is my favorite song on the EP.
Yeah.
Well, not I think, it is my favorite song on the EP.
Yeah.
And I think it shows not only a different side of you, but I think sonically it's very stirring, and then the back and forth that you have on there. So that one, since it's so, in my opinion, it's a very different song. Even if you just look at the EP by itself, it's very different, but I also think through a lot of your catalog it's very different.
Yeah.
So what's the genesis creatively of that, sonically and lyrically?
I think it's just the evolution of me as an artist. Okay. I mean, I've done the rap thing for forever. Right. I've done it, I've been rapping since I was a kid. So, and a lot of people don't know this, but on all of my albums, mixtapes, everything, I always wrote all the hooks, melodies and everything. I just never sang them. I would write them and give them to someone else and say, here, sing them. So this time I was like, man, I should just sing it myself. And on my last album, Empire, I did a record with Colton Dixon. So that kind of helped me. My homeboy was like, you just sang a duet with an American Idol finalist. I was like, I never thought of it like that. It's just Colton to me. But I just like, let me just keep diving into that area of my creative palette, and just, you listen to the new album, Reflection, I'm stretching even further. And I think that's just what it's about musically, is I don't want to be the same artist I was when I first came in the game.
Well, that's something I wanted to talk to you about, because I think that's something that has been a hallmark of your career, like changing your name from Pro to going into, with Minorville, really taking the hands-on and really doing the majority of the production on the album.
Yeah.
So at each stage of your career, has something happened personally, or are you just getting more confidence? Like what's changing throughout your life to where you're always pushing yourself and adapting and doing these things?
I love music. That's just really, and when it's all said and done, I love music, and it just I get bored real easy. Like I used to get in trouble all the time in school, because like if the teacher's teaching something and I got it, I'm gone. Like I'm probably
You're on vacation.
I'm gone. So my mind is just gone. So for me with music, it's such a vast space that I'm like, all right, let me experiment with. At one point in time, I was experimenting with playing the guitar, experimenting with learning the bass. Now it's experimenting with singing. It's just really stretching myself to grow more as a creative. So what you're seeing is from a lot of artists come in and it's like, it's a hustle, I think, or they just want to be famous. Like for me, the fame is a byproduct of the music. Like it's me growing in my craft and saying, look what I learned since the last time we met. And then people being like, wow, this is crazy. And
another testament to that is another song that you recently released, which is Free.
Yeah.
With that one, you get very political on the record, and it's very dramatic, especially put against the context of what's happening in United States right now, and sadly has been happening, for decades and arguably centuries.
Right.
So that being said, that's a very bold and powerful record, and it's especially with people of the Christian rap kind of circle, allegedly or purportedly. Like that's not a standard record that people would make.
Right.
even though you also don't do the standard, I would argue. But that being said, what made free something that you wanted to tackle?
Well, again, man, I mean, I'm black. Like, that's just, I feel like, and
I noticed.
Right, and I'm a deep thinker in the sense of those, when I saw Mike Brown, when I saw Alton Sterling, when I saw Philando Castile, Laquan McDonald, when I saw Walter Scott, like, that affects me. Because to me, I'm thinking that could be my uncle, that could be me, that could be one of my little boys, you know? So I think for me with the record, I just wanted to really put into words what I think a lot of people feel. And a lot of people just feel like, yo, does my life even have any meaning? Like, does it even matter at all? So it's just really, I wanted to take the music and really put a soundtrack to it. And that's really, if you look at all of my records, that's been what I've been doing forever, which I would say oftentimes within, if you were to talk about the Christian circles, for me being a Christian, Christians shy away from a lot of those different things. So for me,
and you even had the Dear Mr. Christian song.
Right, they shy away from it. I don't do that. I run headfirst into it because, I mean, if I make a lot of
D1.
Yeah, D1 is a beast, by the way. But you know, if I just make a lot of money and I look over my career and that's the end, I said, well, I made a lot of money, I feel like I would have failed as an artist and a creative and as a man. So for me, it's not just about the money. It's about my voice being heard and you know, growth as a person and as an artist.
Yeah, and I think too, it's also a testament to, you know, being from Tennessee and then having all the influences that, you know, the 3-6 Mafias, the Gangster Blacks, the Player Flies.
Okay, you speaking my language.
Hey man, I know a little bit about rap.
Okay, you speaking my language.
But I know that from our other conversations, I remember that those were some of your favorite artists, and it was refreshing to hear that, because a lot of people, there's so many great artists that I think don't get a lot of shine and that don't get you know, their just due. And to see that helped influence you and get to where you were, I thought was important. So looking back, when you think of your days listening to Gangster Black or Player Fly or early 3-6, or even more modern 3-6, like, what do you think you took from them artistically?
Man, well, I think everybody in Tennessee, you grab from, I mean, the blues, the culture, like, and that's the thing, like, when you look at what was happening with, you know, Stax Records, right? Like, I mean, listen to Isaac Hayes, man. That dude was telling his story. And I think that's the thing that people love about Southern music. And I think today, that's why a lot of people that I notice, like, that don't understand, like a lot of the gangster rapper, they don't understand like the Southern music or whatever. They don't understand it because they don't understand the story and the narrative that's being put through there.
They don't understand the lifestyle.
Yeah, they don't understand the lifestyle. So for them, it's just, oh man, this dude is making these basic raps. But it's like, for somebody that come from that context, they like, I get it totally, and it makes a lot of sense. So I think for me, everybody's like, man, like, it's crazy that you're a Christian, but your lyrics are so relatable. It's like, well, I think that's where I draw from, is the music that I was raised on. I was raised on relatable dudes. They may not have been the most clever lyricists, you know, period, but they always were able to connect the message. And then you combine that with the fact, then me being from Michigan, all my family from Michigan, so I grew up listening to Royce 5'9", I grew up listening to Eminem, grew up listening to D12. So when you think about all that, I mean, Dilla, I mean, you think about all of that.
You remember Awesome Dre and the Hardcore Committee?
Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, so you add all of that together. That's what you get from me, is relatable lyrics with style and substance. And I mean, even Detroit, Motown. I mean, that's soul as well. You know, it's great records. So, and that's what I aspire to be, is just, I just want to walk in the legacy of those types of artists, you know, that I grew up listening to.
And that's what Reflection's about to do, y'all.
Straight up.
So yeah, Derek Minor, thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate it as always. I'm Soren Baker here on Unique Access. Derek Minor, y'all. Check out Reflection.